On the phone, I want you to cover those open doors.
Movement from the subject. Flashbang hit forward of the subject. CP received. An obstruction, stand by, sir.
On the phone, I want you to cover those open doors. The phone in the garage.
Yes, sir, I got that. Myself and Larry have that responsibility. We also have a K-9 on scene if we need it.
So they have an inquiry. Can you tell us there's still a fire on the boat at this
The HRT advises negative on a fire or lights from their observation point.
Air 3, another flashbang. Negative on movement. Negative movement.
We were on vacation. I was on the beach, actually, spending a beautiful day on the beach with my daughter, Catherine. I had actually taken a walk on the beach, a really long walk, I think by myself, and I didn't take my phone with me. When I got back to the beach, everyone looked kind of strange and worried, and the first thing they said to me was, "There's been an incident and Kyle is fine." That was a relief, and then they proceeded to tell me what details they had. You know, we didn't really know too much. And I didn't get in touch with my son. There were no cell phone. You know, I wasn't able to call him, but my husband did call me, and it was a good phone call to get because he had spoken directly to my son Kyle, and you know, reassured me that everything was fine, that Kyle was back at the hotel at the finish line and safe.
I've volunteered at the Boston Marathon for the last 10 years, and I've always been at the finish line. And my job is usually to be a spotter for the finish line announcer. 2013 was the first time I didn't do that. There's a lot more technology they're using with the BAA, tracking the runners, getting data on the runners, and they didn't need me to be the spotter this year. And it was probably about 1 o'clock, 1:30, when Tom Grilk, the executive director of the BAA and the finish line announcer for the last 35 years, came over to me and he said, "Kyle, I need you to come back in the hotel with me. I need your help getting ready for the press conference." So I said, okay. I was sort of disappointed. I wanted to stay out and watch the finishers. So I went back in the hotel in the basement of the Fairmont Copley, right there at the finish line. And I'm in the basement of the hotel, and I've got my laptop. And I'm sitting there for a while, and I started surfing Facebook and the internet because I didn't have any work to do. And I really didn't think much of it. And all of a sudden, I saw something come across Facebook, and it said, from Fox 25, it said, reports of explosions in Copley Square at the finish line of the Boston Marathon.
Over here. Hey, there's got to be people hurt out there.
I sent a text to my parents and I said, "I love you. You're the greatest parents in the world." And that's, you know, that's what I said. And I didn't know if there was a part of me that said, "I don't know if we're gonna make it through today." Police and hotel staff were at every door, every exit of the hotel, telling us that we could not leave the hotel, that we were instructed to stay there until further notice. So I think I made it home early afternoon the day after the bombing, and it was pretty weird to drive home and get home. And my father had come home from Florida. He came home early. He's the chief of the Port Authority Police.
For me, you know, this is now our vacation, and I wanted him to stay. I wanted him to enjoy it with me, and you know, I didn't want him to go. But I didn't even consider talking about him not going. I knew that this was what he needed to do, and I knew that he needed to be home and wanted to be home. And it just says a lot, I think, about him, that the boss isn't telling him. I mean, they were grateful that he came home. No, most of them didn't know that he was planning to go home. It was his own decision to leave his family and to come home. And we rented an expensive house and ate all of that because he wasn't there to use it, but he would have had it no other way. And I would never have considered talking him out of it, or I was just sad about it. But I knew that it was his decision, and I'm used to it all my life. We've been places that he's had to leave, and we've had to turn around and go. And this was something that he really felt he should be home for, and I think he definitely made the right decision.
I had to come home. I had to be here. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, my job requires me to be around for emergencies, and as a result of that, I came home immediately, and I had been home working for 2 days, on Wednesday evening and Thursday evening. So at some point in time while watching the news, the radio began to, I hear a lot of radio transmissions, and it was pretty dramatic, things that you don't really hear, some police officers never hear in their lifetime.
On units, we have shots fired in the vehicle in question from Cambridge. Last in the area, text around. Any units to assist in Watertown. That's one army text around with the report of shots fired at officers trying to stop the vehicle.
I have you, Victor K5.
The K-22. The K-22 in Dexter, they have explosives, some type of grenades. They're in between the houses out here.
The right grenade's being used, I have it. Keep on calling and get a call signs off, guys.
So at that point in time, I called my office, called my my deputy chiefs, and told them that we're going to meet up and we're going to assist the state police and the Watertown police with perimeter control over at the shooting scene in Watertown.
About 1 in the morning, I get a knock on my bedroom door. My father comes barging right in, and he says, "I got to go to work." And I said, I'm like, what? It's Dad. I'm like, Dad, it's 1 in the morning. What do you mean? He goes, "Kyle, there's been cops shot all over the city. There's bombs going off. There's a manhunt throughout Watertown." And I'm like, what? I'm like, before bed, I saw something about an MIT cop had been shot. And it just sounded like absolute chaos. And my dad's a pretty calm guy. And when he came in and said, "I don't know what the hell's going on," that was wild, because he never talks like that. And I got out of bed, I ran downstairs and put on the news, and it just seemed like the city was falling apart. I mean, you had just things happening everywhere, with police being shot, with bombs being thrown out of cars, with, is this related to the Boston Marathon? You wanted to think it was, but you didn't know. It was just chaotic. I said, "I love you, be careful." And he said, "I love you too, and, try to get some sleep."
Well, I try to separate my job from my family, but on this particular night, I really couldn't, because I knew Kyle would wake up in the morning, I wouldn't be there. So he was asleep when I was home, and when I had made the decision that I had to respond with my troops, I went in, woke up Kyle, and I told him that all hell was breaking loose, that I had to go, and I had to, for him not to worry. I say that now, looking back, when I was strapping on my bulletproof vest and putting an extra gun clip on my belt. But I told him not to worry, things will be fine, just stay calm, stay collected, and I'll be fine, don't worry about me.
A lot of us are sitting at home and following it and seeing what's going on, and are worried, and we can't do anything. But you have people like him that, when they find out about these things, they jump out of bed, they throw on their vest, they grab what they need to grab, and they head straight in there to do what they need to do. And there's a duty and a responsibility that they have, that they take seriously, that he takes seriously. But it's scary.
Looking back, my only regret is that I didn't find the guy myself. get some answers. And I say that tongue in cheek, but yeah, it would have been nice to put the handcuffs on that person and to do it quicker than what happened. Although we did a safe process, the way the search was done. It would have been nice to find him earlier. It would have been nice to find. It would have been great to have the bombing solved before the MIT officer was killed, and that's a tragic result of these two terrorists. But we didn't have the information. We didn't have the identification, so it was hard to do anything without that information.